So welcoming here today is Tequila Cousar. She is the personal branding coach and a two-time #1 international best-selling author, entrepreneur, and founder of Intoxicating Brands, LLC. Female entrepreneurs and business owners hire her when they are ready to build a compelling personal brand to increase revenue, visibility, and credibility in the marketplace. As a certified life coach and with over 15 years of business experience and insight, she uncovers hidden gems that you never thought knew were there and help you to build an online persona that's magnetic. She's been featured in the Huffington Post, Thrive Global, Shout Out Texas, and many more publications. She is the shot your brain and business craves. Welcome to the stage, Tequila.
Hey everyone! Thank you so much for that introduction. And I'm super excited to be here, you guys. I thank you so much, Lee, and I thank you so much, Bettina, for giving me this opportunity to really be gifting your audience. You all will probably gift me. I love coming into arenas as a novice. I learn a lot from people, and I learned some good things already during this time at the summit, and I'm so happy to be here. I believe, that we are all in this new season of transition. With us heading into a new year, it's always important that before we shift into a new year, we absolutely start taking inventory of those things that we just don't want, just don't need. And we will talk about more of those things before we move into a new year. Personal branding, I think it chose me. I believe we all are born with amazing gifts. We're born with, these amazing talents, and they are always like, we walk into an arena and they're covered, right? We honestly don't know sometimes what our gifting is. With personal branding and how it really helps to magnify you. It establishes you as an authority in your niche, right? If you are claiming, for instance, we have Patrick, who is really good with, books. He is the book guy. He is going to help you make tons of money and be magnetic with your book. He's claimed that niche, and in that industry, he is the authority of it. We all are here, and we're all authorities of our intended niche. And we're here to learn, how we can amplify what we already do. I believe that everyone who has spoken today has added something to your knowledge basket that you can actually utilize, now or into a new year. I also know that personal branding is one of those things that a lot of people tend to really ignore. They don't build their personal brand. They think, man, let me get this logo, let me get this, beautiful website. But none of those things have true meaning without building the personal brand. It helps you when you build your personal brand the right way. It helps people perceive you as the person that you are. Whether you are a person who loves to drink Starbucks every day, that is part of your personal branding. If you're a person who is a dog lover, dog mom, that is part of your personal branding. Your personal branding is one of those things. Jeff Bezos said it best, is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So you can either have a great reputation while building your personal brand, or you can really hurt your reputation if you don't do it the right way. It increases your visibility, right? If you're building your personal brand and you are allowing your truest self, authentic self, to show who you are here and offline, even on stage, we show who we are. It allows you to really build that visibility. It increases your visibility. It has people, if they're intrigued by who you are, they ask you, hey, would you like to speak with me or speak on my stage? Or do you want to collaborate, right? Those are the things that we do, when we're building our personal branding, that we do want. I believe that we are better together than apart. This summit is amazing because we're all together. And yes, we are individuals, but we're all together. And so we're better together. And that feels amazing. You instantly really, for those people who know, like, and trust and love you, you instantly build a connection with your audience, if you're able to be who you be. That's a phrase that I use a lot, with when I talk. When you're able to be the person, the phenomenal person that you were born to be, people really resonate with that. People do. They resonate with who you are, and they it's like a mirror. They see themselves in you. Or when you start to really put your story out there, people will love your story. They see who they are, and they definitely want to latch onto who you are, and just be there with you and help you be their guider, to take them through whatever you've been through. And we've all have a story. That's why we're all here, because we've had a story, and we're really trying to, we probably have a book. Most of us have a book, or we're out online and we're talking to people about what we're doing. We're coaching people through what we've been through. What you're leaving there is your digital footprint, or you can actually be in person and you're leaving your footprint, period. It's our thumbprint. And we have to know that in our personal branding, we are ourselves. There's no one with our DNA. There's no one, in this world who has been through our journey but us. And that is how, we really pull people in to who we are. Our journey of someone else's may be alike, right? They may have been through something similar, but you are the one who is helping them, to really get through more of that journey. Personal branding, I love this part. It really provides your clients with a world-class experience, right? It's unforgettable. I know that if you've gone into some mom and pop shop, right? I mean, I think that we've all been through a franchise, but if you've ever gone to a mom pop shop and you've had maybe breakfast somewhere, and you had eaten that breakfast and you're like, man, I love, this food. You come back, right? Because they provided really good food, also the good service. You start telling your friends, and your friends start going to that same place. What you have done is really amplified the reputation of that place that you've gone to, and that has amped their personal brand, right? They are getting more people in their store because your word of mouth have made them visible. They are, because they provided that world-class experience. You won't forget, that yummy food that you've eaten. I recently had gone to Florida, and we ate at this vegan restaurant, and it was so good. Unfortunately, it's just a mom pop restaurant, right? There's just one of them. But I talked about that with my group that I'm coaching with, and I just talked about how much I love it. I told my friend, my sister's headed down there this weekend. I was like, hey, why don't you go to the vegan restaurant, right? So as a personal brand, you are unforgettable. You come to the mind of people, right? When you are the go-to expert, right? So and it also increases your influence. So if you're the person who you are speaking and you say something to your audience that really resonates with them, they love it, and they're going to flee and they're going to do it, right? And when you collaborate with the right person, who is creating this connection with you, and you can, have influence over their audience, they're going to do exactly what you say, because you are set up as the go-to person. You are set up as the expert in your intended industry. There are touch points that most people don't think about when it comes to their personal brand that's truly important. Truly important. And what I'll do is I'll get to 5 of my strategies that I use to unlock the intrinsic values of who you are, and the way you show up with confidence, so that you can bring value to not only your audience, but your life. But I want to go through some touch points that I want you to really start thinking about while I talk about them. You can even imagine these things, or you can just think about them. There are touch points. How do you answer the phone, right? How do you answer the phone? Some people I know, they answer the phone like, yeah, right? That's branding to me. If you're answering the phone and you're like, hello, how are you? I see you as a kind person who is truly wanting to make a connection. But if you're a person who's answering the phone and you're like, yeah, it's like, did I disrupt them? Did I make them upset? Right? You leave the other person on the other line really thinking and questioning about themselves, but who you are, right? It's the look, the feel, and the message of your signs that you have, right? If you have a signage or a logo, that has an effect on the way someone feel. It could be a trigger for some people, or it could be a turnoff, right? So we have different. A well-known brand is, I would say, Coca-Cola, right? Well-known brand. We know that Coca-Cola, when we look at it, we may feel that crisp, cold drink. And I think of the winter when I see the little pandas, right? Or is it the pandas? Oh, the polar bears, right? I think of the polar bears. So if your brand, as your personal brand, you want to understand how people, the feeling of your sign makes people feel, how it comes across to other people. It's the look, the feel, and the message that it gives to people, that really resonates with them, or it will repel them into investing in you. Another point is your visual displays. Any brochures. I heard Patrick say your book cover, can sell well, or it doesn't sell well. That's another touch point when it comes to your branding. Even if you have the background of your screen here, that's a touch point. If you have pins, that's the touch point, right? There's different merchandise that you can put together that could be a touch point to who you are in your branding. I hope people are picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Your website. Websites are huge. That's why I always steer my clients when they come to me and they're like, yeah, I'm building my website. I'm like, don't build it yet. Hold on with the building. Let's build your personal brand so that you can actually put so much personality in your website that people know, like, and trust you, right? They'll love you. They'll feel like, oh my goodness, it's like the door. If you've ever been to our doctor, you can go to the doctor's office, right? The first person that we come in contact with is who? The receptionist, right? If the receptionist is like mean, or if she's not welcoming, sometimes it can be a he or she, it reflects the overall brand of the company, right? People that we bring into our companies, that we hire into our companies, are a direct extension of who we are. That's why when you go out and you're ready to hire people, you really have to understand, does this person resonate with who I am? Do they believe in what I believe in? Do our values align? There's so many things that you have to think of before you would bring a person to your team, because that person is actually a huge touch point to your personal brand. And the tone, the messaging, the layout, even of your receipts. Ooh, if you're a person who, if they go on Stripe, for example, they go onto Stripe, and they go and buy something that you're selling, right? How does that look? How does that make a person feel? You know, is it turning people off in your description? Like, where where do you find the branding in that? Where's the personal branding? That's a touch point. If people look at that, they can abandon cart, right? It's like, okay, this isn't sounding like what she just told me, or he just told me that I'm getting for this service, because the description isn't right. It's not right in the right toning, and I'm not getting the right messaging. Overall, if you think of it, these are areas that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to their personal brand, and how it does have an effect on their business. And if you don't really correct those touch points right, then guess what? Your money is not making money, right? Your money is really not making money. People are walking away because you're repelling them for who you are and your presentation. Your personal brand isn't just important here online, because we know a lot of times our online person of who we are, some people aren't the same way offline, right? We get these different perspectives of people who don't they know us, right? And they're like, oh, you're being this person online, but you're not that person in real life. That has a direct effect on how your brand flows, your personal branding flows. So, for instance, if you were hired to, I know of a person who is well known, and I actually met her on when I was vacationing. I love this person. I listened to a lot of her YouTubes. I've read a lot of her books, and I saw her in a Macy's store. Well, I walked up just to say hi, and she totally was not the person I portrayed her to be, because she was very cold and she was very rude. And she said, I am not taking pictures. And I was like, really? Like, you're a person who has built a huge brand, personal brand, and you don't have people who are like fans, right? So I was like, really? So, that really put a bad taste in my mouth. And it really made me think about people who reputation online seems to be fabulous, they're kind, they're nice, they're this person, but offline, they're a whole different person. So I would warn you, really to take an introspective approach or assessment, right, to your life right now. And that's leading me into my 5 points that I want to make when it comes to unlocking, this very valuable intrinsic person that you are inside of you. uh, Thank you so much, Lori. I just like to look at my comments. Who trusts right? Who trusts a chameleon? Right? It's interesting, right? How a person you really like resonate with, and you see them, and it leaves you in this baffled moment. I was actually really hurt, honestly, because I know if anyone walks up to me, I'm like, hey, yeah, snap a picture and leave. Just keep it moving. Maybe she was having a bad day. I had to think of that. I'm like, maybe today was not her day. Okay, so let me get into my 5 points, because as I know, we are moving into a new year, and I always think of new year, new you, right? There is so much evolution that we all will experience in our next year. It's in as we have this year. So what can we start really doing, to step into who we are, step into this confident individual that we all are meant to be, really stop hiding. A lot of my clients, they are doing really good in their business, but they hide behind their business, right? They hide behind their logos, hide behind their website. And I'm like, look, let's uncover that. Let's get to the heart of why you are hiding. One, take the limits off yourself, right? It's so often, no matter where you are in your career, we deal with these limits, these limitations. I have to look at age, right? Look at your age and where you are and all of the stuff that you probably have not dealt with, or all of the things that you've swept under the rug that has kept you from really taking the limits off of yourself and moving into that next level in your life. A lot of the limits that we deal with, or problems that we deal with, like the upper limit problems, are huge. Failure, you feel failure, right? If I did this, I might not succeed, right? You're already telling yourself that. So your brain isn't doing it, and you create that block in your brain. So guess what? It doesn't happen. We fear of being alone. It's funny because I have one child, right? I have a daughter. She is 10. And it's funny because my mom was like, you had that conversation? I was like, yeah. My husband, he's a little older than I am. So, in essence, okay, I'm not putting anything out there. He would go before me, right? And so she would take care of me when I get much older, into my mature years. And I just thought, like, oh my goodness, she's going to have to bear the limit, the thing of taking care of me on her own. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about what I do and building what I do, so that she can hire someone to help with taking care of me, right? So it was that fear that I had of her taking care of me alone, not being alone, but taking care of her by herself. And it's one of those things that I will be ready for, right? I will be ready for. Another big thing is the fear of outshining others, right? Most of that fear are like people that you live with, or your friends, where your friends, they aren't doing as much as you're doing, or even your spouse isn't doing as much as you're doing. And you're out here and you are really building that personal brand. You're showing the world who you are and how you can help them. But you have this fear of, if I move to the next level, will this relationship be at stake, right? That's a normal and natural thing, right? That's a conversation that you definitely should have with that loved one, that spouse of yours. How do you feel about this? How can we make sure that we both are on the same page as far as growth? Because if this happens, if I end up blowing up and becoming a millionaire, how are you going to handle that? Will you still be by my side? It's those hard conversations that a lot of people avoid, that they need to talk to the people about, that they really care for. And another one is impromptu, but success, right? That is a fear for some people. That is a fear that resonates with myself. Like, how many of you feel that, man, I feel fear that I'm going to be successful, because we think of all the things that could happen. I might lose my friends. I might lose my relationships. Some people might fear losing their mind, right? Or their happiness, or being lonely. But it's, if you take the limits off of saying, is this true, right? Is this true? Or is this a lie that I completely made up myself? And if it is, how can I really move through this, right? You have to do what? This is point 2. All right. You decide exactly what you want. You decide exactly what you want. I know that's cliche, like, oh yeah, everybody says you got to decide what you want. But believe it or not, a lot of people just, they don't have clarity. Like, it's like, are we clear? No, we're not clear, right? Some people are not clear on the things that they desire, that they want. They are having these issues, right, that are rooted into their DNA. It's how they were raised. I struggle with middle child syndrome, right? I'm a middle child, and I sometimes get this confusion, like, well, I want this, but do I want that? I want this, but do I want that? Right? I go back and forth and I'm indecisive. And I noticed that, right, a whole lot. Like, oh my gosh, Tequila, know exactly what you want. So I have, this thing where I just write it on a post-it note. And sometimes I write it on the back of my hand. Tequila, what do you want? Okay, I want this. And I write it on the back of my hand because it reminds me that this is what you've decided, right? Stick with your decision. I want you to write exactly what you want on a post-it note, right? Yes, decide equals to cut away all other options, right? They all just fall away. When you decide, you divide, right? You divide, right? So I want you to just write down, like, for 2022, what is it that you want? I want you to write that one thing that you want in 2022. Circle it, put it on a post-it note, and maybe you can just write it 5 times every single day, exactly what you want, and put it on post-it notes. So wherever you go in your home, you see that, right? There's a post-it note I have is, I am a millionaire brand, right? It's all over my house. It's on my microwave, right? It's in my car. It's on my fireplace. It's in all of the restrooms. It's everywhere. In a minute, this wall back here is going to be full of sticky notes. So knowing exactly what you want definitely is going to create clarity in your life, and you will be and then things start happening and shifting in your life that you'll be like, what? It's really happening, right? Surround yourself with positivity, right? Those sticky notes, yes, they are keeping you very clear. But what else is going to keep you positive and moving towards taking that limit off of your mindset? Now that you know exactly what you want, what is the next? Like, how am I going to surround myself with positivity? Because honestly, like, this is where we're working from a lot of times, right? We're working behind our computers. How can I stay motivated, right? I love YouTube videos. I love listening to podcasts. I love just, even in listening to audibles are helpful. Instead of, like, I love someone said, like, make your car your rolling university, driving university. Make that happen. Put your positive affirmations around you. Take your phone and put on the time, in your little clock, because we have these little things where we can set timers in our phones. You can put a quote that keeps you positive, or a reminder that you are great in there, that's going to help you, right? It's going to help bring more value to your your thing, that goal, that thing that you want to achieve. And once you start doing that, you move into step 4. Strategy 4 is the inspired actions. Oh, this is fun, right? A lot of people struggle with, well, I'm trying these things, but they're not working. This is just getting hard. Things get hard. I know things get hard, but also things become inspired, right? When you surround yourself with positive people, positive quotes, positive affirmations, and alarms, things will start to happen in your life where your actions will really start aligning with your words, right? With what you're thinking, and aligning with what that thing that you want. So you have to be really you have to stay in tune with who you are in yourself. Like quieting your mind works. I meditate every morning. It helps to align me with what do I need to do next? And right out of that meditation, I'm inspired to really write those three things down that I am inspired to do for today to move to the next step. That's what you can do. What are those three things, right? What are those inspired things that feel good to you? Write three things down that really feel good to you. Actions you can start taking either now or tomorrow morning to move you to your big goal for 2020. Two, don't wait until 2022. Start now. You get the snowball to rolling. So when you get to 2022, it's just all downhill from there in a good way, right? It's all downhill from there, downstream from there. So taking those inspired actions is going to lead to more inspired actions, and you're going to get so much done during that time, right? Keep an eye on my time, guys. Like I'm a talker, so I got to keep an eye on my time. Once you take those inspired actions, guess what's going to happen? Little by little, you're going to start receiving the things that you desire. People will start walking in your life that are going to help you, right? Uh, Projects, collaborations, right? Book deals, speaking engagements, all kind of things start happening, and you're thinking like, well, this is easy, right? This is easy. What we desire should not be that hard. I think we make it hard because we put a lot of mindset into it, but our blockers are there too, right? We not decide or we decide, right? But we stuck in the middle. When you're stuck in the middle, there's no clarity, there's confusion, so the Most High Divine doesn't know what you want. You got to choose and understand what you want. And when you know what you want, things will start happening in your life that will start flowing in your life so much. And as you go on this journey of really unlocking who you are and stepping confidently in your life and in your business, you're going to have to fine tune some things because evolution is real. You're not the same person you were a year ago. Look back at your life, December 8th, 2020, you were different. The world was different. Everything was different. But now a lot has shifted and we've had to really move with that change. If you have not changed, it's no one's fault but yours, right? If you're still in the same place that you were in 2020, then accountability is key. Personal accountability is key, and asking yourself, why am I not here? You can be there, right? It just is taking that first step and saying, let me take the limits off of my mindset and let me move into my new self and be who I am supposed to be, right? It's going to change. You just got to refine it, right? Define it and refine it, right? You define what you want, but you refine it as you go because you'll hit the goal. Boom. Now start back at point one, strategy one. You just start over from there. After every time you hit that goal that you said, oh my gosh, I actually did this. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Start back because you will always have a desire. We always will have a want. We always want things. As people, we're always evolving. We always want things. Start back at one because there's always a limitation that is stopping you, right, from getting that thing that you want. Start back at one, okay? You want to take the limit off of yourself. identifying that upper limit. 2, you decide exactly what you want. 3, you surround yourself by positivity, people, places, things, all of those good things, and post-it notes, right? You take the inspired actions that you need to get to where you want to be. You open your arms and you receive it. You celebrate too. And then you refine things if you need to. And that's definitely going to help you just be who you be. Okay. I'm super excited. And I've given, I want to give you, I have 31 thought-provoking questions that you can ask yourself. They are going to help you really get fine-tuned, understand deeper of who you are for your personal branding. I have that link. It's in here. And you can definitely get that. It's totally a gift from me. And I think that, it will help you getting the ball rolling of thinking deeper about you and your life and your next, right? It's amazing. So yes, and you can connect with me and we can chat. Yeah. That is
Thank you so much, Tequila. And so for those watching, what is the link?
Yes, I will give you the link. Let me give
Actually, if you can say it out loud, it would be for the viewing audience.
Yes, if you go to my website, it's actually there is tequilacousar.com and you will find it. It's clarity to communicate.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been great to have you. You're also a brand new member. So if you can just say 1 or 2 lines about joining, what made you join, how we met, anything that would give folks there in the listening audience an idea of what to expect through the membership.
Yes, I met Bettina. We actually were on the same stage, virtual stage, and I really resonate with who she was. I actually loved who she was immediately. And I said, hey, I want to connect with you. I want to talk with you, even to see how I can add value to what you're doing, right? It's not always about, hey, how can I make money, right? It's always how can we add value for each other, and that's how we connected. And she sent me an invitation. She invited me to this amazing community, and I love it. I've met Lee. They help me so much, and I can't wait. I can't wait to just really continue on even through the next year, and it's going to be explosive. Yes.